So, options. There's a lot of them. Do I want Ecuador or birch? Wired or wireless? Blue stripes or white? Just like I have so many choices on how to drink my coffee or work on a computer, I have so many different ways that I can choose to do my design inside of Revit. One of the best ways that I have come across to design a good electrical room is to sometimes offer multiple options and think of the pros and cons of each one. Revit has this tool called Design Option. A Design Option tool essentially takes the same elements and you can stretch it to different dimensions, you can put them in different locations, you can give it different properties, but it lives within that option. So today I'm going to walk you through the whole Design Option tool inside of Revit and how you can use that to help better your design by maybe giving it like an iterative process where you can lay out an initial design and then do a couple options later, pick the best one, and then that becomes your primary. So that's essentially how I design my electrical rooms. So let's get started. Okay, so let's just jump right into Revit. This is a popular way that I actually do my design because Revit allows you to, sketch out a layout really quickly and then tweak it into options like this. So let's just start by drawing ourselves an electrical room. So let's do 30 by 20. Okay, put that over here. And then we'll add some doors at the extremes. Whoops, let's flip that around. Perfect. So here's our electrical room and let's start putting some equipment in here. Let's see, circuit breaker, sure. Let's line this up here. We'll do, 8 of those. So from here to there, perfect. I will need to ungroup this because I think groups don't go into design options very well. So here's our switchboard against the wall. Let's actually bump that out a little bit. And let's put some other stuff in the wall as well. All right, so now I have some equipment just kind of thrown in here. And let's say I want to make a design option that puts the switchboard at the top, in a different location. Let's say instead of going horizontally across the top, I want to put it vertically along the east wall. So since the switchboard is the only thing that's actually moving, that's the only thing that I want to put into my design option. So let's go create these design options. Down here on the toolbar at the bottom, you can see that there's a button here literally called Design Options. So click that, and we're going to create an option set for the equipment location. And within this option set, you can have options to describe where it is. So let's click New. I'm going to give this a name. We're going to call this switchboard board location. And then option 1, we'll call this horizontal. And then let's make a new one. Let's just call this vertical. Okay, so let's close that. Now we have the equipment created, we have the design options created. Let's select the equipment and we're going to put it into the design option. Let's go down to this button over here. Next to the design option button, you now have the capability to add to the set. So let's click on Add to Set, and we're going to put it in both options because this is the same equipment that's going to be in 2 different locations. So let's hit OK. And then this equipment is now no longer clickable until you select the design option that it's in. If I were to, let's say, move this panel around, that's fine. And that'll actually stay where it is in both design options because it's not part of that option. So let's go over here to the vertical and move this switchboard. Let's see, just grab it, rotate by 90. And let's fit it right about here. Perfect. So now that the switchboard is in the vertical location, that's saved only in the vertical option. If I were to click this and go back to horizontal, you can see that that jumps back to the horizontal location. So this down here activates the design option that you want to work in. The view itself is actually switching between whichever option based on the active one. So let's go over here to Visibility Graphics Override. And you can see here under the last tab, there's a design option. And this is set to automatic. So what this means is that whatever this toggle is set to is what the view is going to show. So let's go ahead and try to make 2 separate views. Let's say I want to put both of these rooms on a sheet. So let's create this. Let's create two views for this. So we're going to rename this one. The first one, let's call it horizontal. And then I'm going to duplicate the view. We're going to call this one vertical. Perfect. Now, let me go back to the horizontal. I'll start here. So the horizontal view, I only want to show the horizontal view. So click on Visibility Graphics Override, and then the last tab, Design Option, we're going to select horizontal. So hit OK. Now, if I were to try to edit the vertical arrangement, if I click on that, you see that it doesn't show up because the view is locked onto that one design option. So this is great if you want to put this on a sheet. So let's go ahead and put this back to main. Go over here to vertical. Now this view, let's change this to vertical. Perfect. There we go. Now this is showing vertical, the other one is showing horizontal. Let's put this on the sheet now. So we'll do a sketch. The horizontal goes on one side, vertical goes on the other. And there you go. Now, if you can see like the switchboard is in the correct location. If I were to come in here and grab this panel, move it over, see, all of that goes with it. So if I were to completely rehost that, you can see that this side does the exact same thing because those are common elements between both design options. So that is how you set it up and how you make them. This next portion, maybe I'm gonna do a little bit extra work because let's say you see how this switchboard over here is kind of in the way of the door. So for this particular option, we have to move the door in. Let's just do it for that. You can actually make as many design options as you want. So I'm going to quickly make another one just for the walls and the doors. So very simple. You just come in here, select the things that you want to actually, wrong. First make the design option. So let's make another new option set. So this option set is going to be called walls and doors. And I will make this bound to the horizontal layout. And then we'll make a new one. Vertical layout. Okay. So let's grab this wall and the door. We'll drop these into the other work set or the other design option set. So up here, you can select between the two different sets. So let's go to walls and doors, and I do want it in both. So let's hit OK. Now over here, under the vertical, main walls and doors vertical layout, I'm going to grab this door. I'm going to move it over here. And let's go ahead and update the view as well. So vertical, vertical. Cool. And over here, horizontal will be horizontal. Okay, perfect. All right, so there you go. You can see that I've created multiple design options and I compare them with different option sets. This is really good for making combinations of options as well. So you don't have to delete anything or try to hide anything. You have them all selectable so you can mix and match them however you need to. So let's just say you want to add equipment to just one design option. It's pretty simple. You just go to the design option that you want it into and make the equipment inside of that. It automatically goes in there and it stays in there when you have this design option toggled. So let's say horizontal, I want to copy this whole set or for some reason, and I want to put it over here. Okay. Yeah. So now that I created this equipment inside of the design option for horizontal layout, that's where it stays. It won't show here on the vertical. Vertical is completely separate now. So that's how you get more equipment into one of the design options. So now let's take this design option one step further. I want to make like a version 2 to this horizontal layout. You can actually take an entire option, duplicate it, and continue forward with this option. So let's go into here, click on design options down here. And for the switchboard location, I can actually click this and, I can click this and hit duplicate. So there you go. Now I have 2 horizontal options. I can rename the second one as I can call this one horizontal back to back or something like that. So if I close, I can go into here. And if I were to click on this, it's not going to show it because my view is set to just the horizontal method. So if I go back to horizontal, let me duplicate this, rename, back to back, and then inside of here, this view, let's change it to, back to back. And then if I were to click on this, I now have access to here. So this one, I'm going to put the switchboard back to back in the middle of the room. And there you go. That's my third option. So now let's get this on the sheet. Pretty simple at this point. Click and drag. Okay, so there we go. I just created 3 options. We have 2 different walls and door layouts. We have 3 different equipment layout. Some of them has more equipment than the other. So you can see how quickly that we can permeate all these different variations of the design. Okay, so after all your decision making, you have 3 options, and now you want to pick one of these options. Let's say after the meeting, we'll throw something interesting in here. The client wants this equipment layout, but they like this wall and door layout for some odd reason. So let's go ahead and accept these reasons, or let's go ahead and accept these design options. So over here under design option, we are going to make the horizontal back to back. We want to make it primary. We can only accept primary options. So you have to make it primary before you accept it. So let's go click that over here, make primary. And you can see that this tag over here jumps down to the back and back one. And then on the walls and door, we will also pick the vertical layout. It's this one over here. We want this with the door shifted in. So vertical layout, make primary. So let's go ahead and get a preview of this. So let's grab this view and design option, primary, hit OK. There we go. The door's here, the equipment's in the center. We are 100% certain this is the design we want. Let's lock everything in. So you come down here to design option. You don't want to click on these options anymore. You want to click on the option set. So it's the thing at the top. So now that we made the horizontal back-to-back primary, click on the option set and hit accept primary. So once you accept this primary, it says that everything that is outside of the primary selection will be removed. So the option will be removed, and if there's any equipment that was specifically assigned to that option will also be removed. So yes, we want to remove everything else and clean this up. A couple floor plans were created because they were in reference to this option. So let's go ahead and delete. And then walls and doors, let's also accept this as well. So we want primary to click on there, accept primary, hit yes, and then close. So now this is the final view that we have. Everything else was cleaned up. There's nothing straggling to confuse anyone with. And everything got dumped back into the main model. So right here, you can see that this option has all been grayed out. I can click on anything I please right here in the window, and this is my design moving forward. So a couple big benefits to doing it this way is that the model doesn't get cluttered up with multiple instances of the same element. If, let's say I was doing all these different layouts and architect wants to pull my model in, all they can see or they want to see is whatever my primary option is. They can actually go into that design option window and select which one they want to see. If I didn't do it that way, let's say like I did just different work sets, like I had a work set 1 for option horizontal and a work set 2 for option vertical. Well, if architect brings it in and they have both the work sets on, all the equipment is just going to be everywhere in the room. Like he has to know that my intention was to only pick one. Whereas when you use the design option built into Revit, it's very clear that the intention is to pick one and it's not both of them. Some downsides to design option is one, people not understanding that it's a design option and they're wondering why they can't click it. So that's always kind of funny. Number 2 is that any electrical circuiting will be destroyed if you put it into a design option. So this is like the biggest con, which would result in me not using a design option later in the project, because once everything's circuited to a panel, you take that panel and you shove it into a design option, it actually breaks every single circuit. It disconnects it from the panel. Actually, let's double check this, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't work, but it's been a couple years, so maybe 21 has fixed it. So let's add a receptacle. I don't know, 2 of them. We'll power one, power the other. Here, well, I'll throw a home run in here just to. Okay, so that's apparently that's your wire tag. I'm guessing that's circuiting. So let's. This panel has no name. Let's call this RP1. Okay. Then RP1, create panel schedule, use default. Okay, so I got 2 receptacle circuits in here. Let's go back to this room. Let's make the design option new, hit close, add this to the design option. Okay. And then option 1, I don't know, I'm going to put it here. So yeah, it's fully inside of the design option. Now let's go ahead and accept the primary, finish editing, accept primary. Huh, really? Okay, so never mind. I take that con back. Apparently it's fixed now. Thank goodness, because that killed off a lot of functionality back when I first discovered design option. Okay, so there we go. I just learned something new. I can actually put it in the design option without breaking circuiting right now. So I guess the only con is the subsequent person not knowing how to use design option. Then everything else looks like it's locked, but it's really not. So maybe direct them to this video and then they'll figure out that it's actually a super powerful tool. All right. So hopefully you learned something, because I actually did. I didn't realize that they fixed the whole circuiting issue on the design option. So that's great. Now I might actually use it more later on in the design. I was mostly using this for like the concept phase or the BOD, where it's just like I want to see how the layout could be laid. But later on down the line in the detailed design, I never wanted to put a panel in the design option because I thought all the circuiting would break. So obviously it doesn't break. So if you learned something, give me a thumbs up. Next video I want to do, it's like a kind of like my voltage video where I talk about technical aspects. I want to try to tackle substations, because that's what I'm working with and learning right now. How to do like a single row substation, double-ended, main tie main, or how I can break it out into 2 separate rows with a busway. It's really cool stuff. Like how to size the transformers and how to make it fully redundant. I mean, it's fascinating. So if you want to stick around for that video, get subscribed and turn on the bell notification so you know when I post it. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.